What's up everyone, welcome back to Saints Fab, welcome back to another workshop build episode. This is going to be a big one. We're finally going to put in the mezzanine. This is going to change everything. Let's do it. Now with bespoke fitted mezzanines being tens of thousands of pounds, I knew I'd be having to buy used. And then enter German Auto Works, another YouTube channel building some very cool race cars. If you're into your BMWs, you need to go and have a look at what they're doing, it's awesome. Anyway, they had two of these mezzanines and only space for one of them, so the other one was up for sale and I picked it up for a bargain. Since its arrival though, it's been an absolute nightmare. It's so big, it's taken up the entire workshop and we've not been able to do anything else at all. So we got to get this thing built. Let's get this thing up. Right, with the post cut, you can see how thick they are. At least the center of the beam was not as thick as the tops. It made for easier cutting. The next thing I've got to do is these are the plates that are going on top of the posts, and they're going to be bolted into these from the underside. So I need to re-drill them. What I do need to do though is if I put the post up against the wall, then this bolt is going to go through where the weld point is, the I-beam, and it's not going to fit. So I just need to make sure that I offset the posts against the wall so that these line up centrally. 15 measures later and we got some numbers. We got the ramps that's coming in at 2.4 up here. The floor is 22 mil thick. The bitch beams are 412 mil. The plates that I just cut off plus a bit of contingency for weld, they're about 15 mil, so I'm going to call it 20, which means I've got to cut the beams to 1946. Now, I'd rather step up onto the ramp than step down onto the ramp, so I'm going to cut them at 1940, and we'll see how close we are. Okay, all the tack bolts are in. Let's see how level we are. I think we're pretty close. I've got 3 on. This one is something like 2-3 mil short. To be honest, over a stretch of 7.5 meters, I think 2 mil is going to be absolutely fine. I think it's time we welded it all up for final. Let's get it done. Another day back in the workshop. It's a very cold one today, as always. But we got to crack on. We got to get these posts in and seated so we can get the beams on top. Now, I've had to do a little move of the alarm sensor just because I know that the beam was going to be in the way. It looks a bit temporary. It'll probably stay that way, to be fair, because it's currently working and the angle's fine. So this is where the post is going to go. And what I'm going to have to do is cut round the tiled wooden floor sink this in, drill some holes and bolt it with chemical to the floor. I know that the height was set to the size of the ramp, and I know that this is going to drop it down, but it's okay because the ramp's going to be sunk onto the floor as well. I don't trust this wooden floor to be supporting the stuff that's going to go on top of it. So next thing we're going to do, mark out the floor, drag this out the way, cut out the holes and drop the posts in. Let's get that started. So to put these things into the ground, we're going to be using these ground purlins. Cool little bit of kit. You got this collar here. So when you drill the hole, this slides up to the top and you slide it down the hole. And then once you tighten up the bolt on the other end, this pulls against the inside of the hole and expands and wedges itself into the hole permanently. So you can really tighten down on this and make things proper secure. Very cool. Right, the next thing we need to do is get these beams in the air, but with them being about a ton each, there's no way I'm lifting them up there by hand. We're going to need some heavy equipment. And if you haven't already guessed, we found our own way of doing things. So I've spent about a week trying to find a forklift truck that I can hire, and I just keep coming into a dead end. The two main problems is that a lot of the companies will only hire to the trade, and I'm not officially in the trade. I don't have trade references to give them, so they can't credit check me, so they won't lend to me. The other route that I have is if I go down a DIY hire, then they want me to get my own insurance, they want me to take a couple of days off work because I can't hire it at a weekend, and it just looked like the whole thing was going to cost me over £1,000 just to lift these two beams up, over £1,000. So I bought one. I went on Marketplace just out of the blue, and there was a manual forklift, like a pump truck, but goes up 3 meters. A manual forklift was there for about a third of the cost of it was to hire a forklift truck, and it'd only been on there 2 hours. I literally jumped on it, made a few phone calls, got some time out of work, and it's in the back of the van. It's so big that the doors don't shut. I've got the doors held together with ratchet straps just to get me home. The other end managed to lift it in with a forklift truck of their own, so I don't know how I'm going to get it out yet. But you know, you do these things, you make these calls, and then you just make your own problems, and you got to find your way out of it. But you know, you got to laugh, haven't you? Got to laugh. Well, I can't lie, that was sketchy as, but that first beam is up. Made a bit of a mistake. No idea I'm gonna get those straps back, but right now, I don't care. I'm gonna go to the pub and carry on with this at the weekend. This is awesome. Right, there we go, beams are up. That was a brilliant job. It worked so well. That manual stacker, excellent. Really happy that I got that. Way better than hiring a forklift. For the third of the cost, it did the job just absolutely fine. I don't think a forklift would have made that easier. In fact, I think a forklift might have been a bit more difficult maneuvering it round when I've got all that clutter over there that I haven't sorted out yet. Plus, I get to keep it forever, so I can move all that furniture to the upstairs once the floor's in. That is one of the best things I bought in here, and I absolutely love it. The beams, I think they work out really well. I think this is going to be perfect. Having the whole side of it open, so I've got no posts or anything like that. That's better than any smaller mezzanine. I'm really pleased with how this is going to work out. The next thing I've got to do is up here, where these plates are, I've got to drill the holes through the RSJ and bolt it all down. Now, I've borrowed a very cool bit of kit to do this, and I have to show you what it is. Check it out. Right, this beast is a mag drill, and it's basically a pillar drill that you can relocate. It's got an electromagnet on the bottom, so you put it where you want it to be, you flick the electromagnet on, and then that is rock solid, and you can drill your holes wherever you need them to be. We're going to stick this upside down on the beams up there. We're going to drill upwards so we can feed the bolts through. Check out this oil spray. Have I got face huggers in here? I've got xenomorph face huggers in my workshop. Jesus. Right, so the beams are both up. That was a nice, a tricky job. That mag drill was definitely the right bit of kit to use. I'll show you what I've done here. I had to make some changes on it because these ones meant that there wasn't enough surface area for the magnet to work properly, so I couldn't use them. And these ones were too close to the pillar so that the drill wouldn't line up. So what I did in the end was drill 2 new holes. Now, 2 bolts on each one, I'm fine with it. If I think it's going to be a worry, I could put a bead of weld down the edge, but I don't think I need it. I think those are up to stay. That's definitely up to stay. So the next job is going to be putting in the purlins. The original piece as it come was 3 meters. It's now 2.6, I think. So the boards need cutting down. So I'll take a measurement, saw that end off, drill a couple of holes and put them up. Let's get started on that. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? What I need is some better tools and some help. Hello! All right, welcome to upstairs for the first time. This is a massive step forward. It's good to be up here, even if it is a little sketchy with no floor on at the minute. Right, that's all the battens in. We've got this one to go, but I've got to weld a plate onto this because there wasn't a bracket there before. So I'll do that in a tick. While I've got the room, I'm going to do the batten on the wall. We want something screwed to the wall so that the floor can go right up to it. And then if some weight goes on it, it doesn't fall down the gap. So we're going to screw it to the wall to be secure. The way I'm going to do that is take a level off this end. And I'm going to do the same at the other end. And then I'm going to run a piece of wood across and then screw it to the wall. might be called a bodge, this might be called a cheat, but what I've done is I've wedged a little bit of wood in there and screwed it to the wall, and then screwed this into the wood. Now if you think that's not going to hold it, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll weld a little plate in here and bolt something to it, but to be fair, it looks pretty good. And with this right next to it, and this right here next to it, it's not going to hold a lot of weight, so let's see. Now, just as the last beam went in, taken another one out. And the reason for it is that this is where the ladder is going to go to get from down to up. Now, it'd be a lot easier to put it on the edge, but then I want the mezzanine to go all the way around the car ramp so that whatever's at the top of it is fully accessible. So instead, I'm going to put in a hole in the floor and put a ladder against this wall, which will also be really secure. I'm going to put a T-bar in here, one down to that end, and hopefully when I'm working up here, I don't fall through it. Stairs. Floor. We got this little corner to deal with, and then the rest is going to be a pretty much straight run. So we'll just mark this out, cut the corner out, and then hopefully we'll just time lapse the rest. James, what have I found? Paul loves man boobs and balls. Well, we've come a long way on this video, haven't we? Since that truck arrived with the beams on, and the struggles of getting it in all the way to the point where I'm stood up here it's incredible. I'm really, really happy with how this has come out. The amount of space that I've got up here is a lot more than I thought I was going to have when I was like doing all the CAD and things like that. This is going to be a really, really useful space. And with the car ramp sat right here at exactly the same level, this is going to be a great workshop. So thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate that your time is important, and for you to spend it with me, it's cool. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.